Hey guys, and welcome to possibly the final episode of my resin tips and tricks, unless you have any other suggestions for me. But in the previous video I talked about doing backgrounds, colouring resin, mixing powders and keeping clean, and also adding eye screws. So in this video I have 4 more topics to talk about, so let's go straight into it, shall we? Okay, so one of the topics you guys asked me on Instagram to talk about was doming resin pieces. A lot of you said you had difficulties with this. It's really a case of being careful with it if you're not very confident with it. So when doming the back, your resin piece should have like a little ridge around it like this. Don't sand any of this off just yet. When you're doming the back, this will keep the resin in, and you just want to be very careful when doming the back of the piece, but make sure you have this ridge, as you can see, just to keep the resin in place. When doming the back, add your resin very slowly, a drop at a time, and then very carefully, using your stick or a toothpick or something, very carefully drag it to the edge like this. And then very carefully just drag it to the edge. You don't want to add too much resin at once. Add it very slowly and very carefully, and don't add so much resin because it might spill over everywhere. When doming the tops of pieces, the same principles apply. You have to be more careful because there is no ridge around the edge, so you want to carefully drag it out to the edges as before. Be very careful, add it slowly, don't add too much resin. You will probably need more resin to dome the back than to dome the front. You don't need that much resin to do the front if you're doing that. And if you do get any overspills, I have a tutorial, a fairly recent tutorial on how to fix them, so I will leave the link to that in the description so you can see how to fix them if any pieces get overspilled. So some of you guys said that you had trouble choosing colours for backgrounds with your stickers. If the sticker is clear or see-through, you want to do a very pale background, either white or a pale colour. Don't make it too sparkly because that could drown out the sticker. You can also paint the back of clear stickers white. This will make them stand out and act like normal stickers. I haven't tried that before, but it is an option that I have heard works. I mostly just do pink backgrounds usually. Most of my stickers work well with a pink background. So most of them work well with a pink background. Sometimes I will do purple, just because I like the colour. And sometimes if the sticker is blue, I will do a blue background. Or same if it's green or something like that. You can't usually go wrong with a sparkly white background or a slightly pink background, really. It usually works for most resin pieces, most stickers and things like that. But if you want to get technical with your colour choices, you can refer to a colour wheel. Now here comes a bit of basic colour theory for you. So this here is a very crudely drawn and probably inaccurate colour wheel, and yay for rainbows. It's not accurate because it's just hand drawn. You can find better colour wheels on the internet. Just Google search for colour wheel and you can find a lot of articles about what colour schemes you can pick and how to use the colour wheel. I'm just going to go through some basic things that I sometimes use when choosing colours. So making a colour scheme is pretty easy. One way you can do it is choosing colours that are next to each other on this colour wheel. For example, yellow and green. So yellow and greens are next to each other, so therefore you can use different shades of yellow and different shades of green, and it makes a nice little colour scheme. Another way you can make a colour scheme is to choose complementary colours, and these are colours which are opposite to each other on the colour wheel. For example, pink and green. So pink and green are opposite each other, so therefore they make a nice little colour together. So there's red and light blue, orange and blue, and yellow and purple. Triadic colours are 3 colours that are evenly spaced on the wheel. For example, red, purple and green. So my wheel doesn't work exactly right because it was hand drawn, so they're not exactly evenly spaced, but red, purple and green are sort of in a triangle shape. so they make a nice little colour scheme. Say it goes for pink, yellow and blue, and orange, purple and blue, so that sort of thing. Red, blue and green as well. Those sort of colours work well together. There is a lot more of these colour scheme things online which you can use colour wheels for, but those are just the basic ones that I use. I mostly just do complementary colours if I want to do a proper colour scheme like that. I've also put together some other colours which work well together, so for example brown. Obviously brown isn't on the colour wheel, it's kind of like a mixture between orange and red, so I thought that pink and mint green work really well with brown. Obviously pink and green work well together anyway, and it's good for if you're doing chocolate or sweet themed things. Pastel colours always work well together. I use Sharpie pens to colour this, by the way, so they don't really look pastel colours, but you know what I mean. Purple and orange work well together because of Halloween colours, and black plus anything. It also works for white as well, but I wouldn't say white works well with yellow. I don't think they work well together, but black plus nearly any colour works well. And you can also look up colour schemes online. I will probably put a couple of links in the description for you to look at if you're interested in that sort of thing. So the next thing people were asking about was how to put clay charms in resin, or clay pieces. I have never done that. I've only ever done it, well, I've done it once, and that was on a very simple clay piece that I used in a resin fish tank. So I can't really give very many tips on how to do this, but I will say the clay doesn't need to be baked, but if you want to bake it, it can help because it will avoid it from being squished when you put it into the resin mould. To help avoid bubbles, you can dip the charm into resin before putting it into the mould, and that helps minimize bubbles because you get resin in all of the little gaps of the charm before putting it in. And this can also apply to other 3D objects such as metal charms. I don't put those in resin very often because it can produce lots of little bubbles. Refer to my first resin tips and tricks video on how to get rid of bubbles if you have a problem with that. And the last topic is a lengthy one, but is where to get supplies, and I'm asked this so many times, where to get supplies. So this is the actual proper rundown of where I get everything, and mostly for everything the answer is eBay. Honestly, it is. So yeah, anyway, resin. I use EasyCast resin. You can also use Envirotex Light. I don't know the differences. I've only ever used EasyCast, but you can get this. Can get resin in craft shops. I buy it from eBay or Amazon. You can Google search the brand of resin you want and find shops to buy it from. That's really the easiest way to do it, and I wish people would do that so much more often. Anyway, stickers. Stickers are easy to get hold of as well. I like to use Kawaii Shop Japan. Etsy is a good place as well. eBay, obviously, craft shops, anywhere that sells stickers you can get stickers from, basically. Glitter and mica powders you can buy from craft shops, eBay, etc, 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 etc. Findings such as chain, jump rings, things like that. eBay, AliExpress is very good. Craft shops again. Mixing cups, like I say, I use these plastic ones that are used for party cups. I get these from a supermarket. Measuring cups, I use disposable shot glasses, again from supermarkets. You can also get measuring cups and things online as well. The confetti and nail art supplies and things that I use, cellophane, things like that. Most of them are from eBay and craft shops and things like that. I just go for sparkly things and put it in resin, and it usually works. I know Born Pretty Store also carry a lot of nail art supplies which are good for resin too. I have done a couple of reviews on that shop, and I have a coupon code if you want to use it. I'm not sponsored to say this, obviously. I just know that they sell a lot of nail art supplies that you can use in resin, so I'm just helping you guys out. And you can use the coupon code if you want to. It's pretty cheap as well, I think. Now, resin molds. Resin molds I have gathered together and put in the description as well a bunch of resin mold sellers that I know of or that I have heard other people buy from. So, Molded from Love on Etsy, I can definitely recommend them. They have great molds. Littlewindows.com, they have a lot of resin supplies as well as molds. It's where I got my little hand drill from. I also have a resin doming mat from there. They also have their own brand of resin. I have never tried it, but I have heard it is very good, so maybe have a look into that and have a look at reviews online if you're interested in that. But they also have some nice molds. TheJewelledLizard.com, it's been a while since I've bought from them, but when I did buy from them, the molds were very good. Cap Creations on Etsy, I haven't bought from them, but I know a lot of people who have done. It'sCute.com, not only do they sell stickers and other things, she also makes her own resin molds like the alpacas and things that you've seen me make before. She has those molds. CraftersDelights.com, her store envy shop, has a lot of resin supplies and resin molds. I believe she makes them herself as well. Evil Cupcake on Store Envy, I haven't bought from them. I plan to in the future. I think she has some nice trinket box molds which I want to try. Rockstar Hottie on Store Envy, again I've never bought from, but I know people who have. CatsPerfect.com, another Store Envy seller, very good molds, a lot of different molds and different things. And obviously eBay and Etsy are very good as well, just to search around. I use a lot of silicone baking molds, things like these cupcake molds and stuff. I get these from craft shops, from kitchen supply shops, and of course eBay and Etsy. So those are all of the places I get molds from. So that was all of the resin tips and tricks I have for you guys. Please make sure to watch the other 2 videos I have done on this so you know what I've talked about previously. Also check out my resin tutorials, which I will link the playlist for in the description if you want to know more about how I make things and how I do other things. So yep, if you have any other suggestions for things that you would like me to talk about, things that you're having difficulty with, I will try and reply to comments in the comment section, of course. But if you have any topics that I haven't already talked about in the previous tips and tricks videos, please let me know and I'll see if I can do another video on this series in the future. But for now, I'm going to end this because I have talked for a long time. I recorded all these back to back and my voice is now dying. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!